the only thing that's going to stop you is you. And I feel like that's a situation that stops a lot of people. But it's like, imagine if they just pushed a little bit more and just kept going.
Yeah.
Right around the corner could have been a U.S. tour for them. Right around the corner could have been their biggest hit. Right around the corner could have been so many different things. And it's just, push through. You know, you got it. You got to believe in yourself, like always, because you got to believe in yourself before the world does, without a doubt, man. Because if you don't believe in you, it's going to be hard convincing other people to.
Purpose in the Youth. Purpose in the Youth podcast. Welcome back to the Purpose in the Youth podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Purpose in the Youth podcast with your favorite bearded man, the one, the only Bobbbaaaay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Purpose in the Youth podcast with your favorite bearded man, the one, the only Bobbbaaaay. Today in the building, Mike Squires.
Let's fucking go.
Fellow New Englander.
Yes.
Fellow bearded brother.
Yes.
That's plus 2 points on the scale.
Dude, I didn't shave this just for this occasion.
You knew you were coming in with a bearded man today.
Yeah.
What's going on, brother?
Nothing much, man.
I'm fired up. This is your first podcast.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
First one.
Yes.
And the sound alarm's going off right now.
Dude, I'm super stoked, and I really appreciate you having me, like, more than you know, for sure. Like, this is, like as a behind-the-scenes guy, like, I don't really have a platform to talk, so this is, like, hella exciting.
Dude, open arms, come to the bearded man. This is what I created this for, man. People like yourself who you focus on creating products for other people. I want to hear the story.
Yeah.
You know, people see the work, all the artists that you've been working with the last couple of years. I've seen your name pop up from time to time, man. I mean, you're from Connecticut. I'm from Massachusetts. So,
yes, neighbors, man.
Growing up on the East Coast, I for sure would see your name from time to time. And so when we kind of full circled and connected, I was like, man, this is pretty dope for me too, because just seeing you from afar, I want to learn. I want to know more, because I have so much love for anybody out in New England. Like,
hell yeah,
that's home,
dude.
Baby. That's home, you know?
I know. Dunkin' Donuts.
Dunkin' Donuts, brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. I need to get that sponsorship.
You and me both, man.
So earlier this month, you came across a picture that you had taken, a logo that you had designed of Watsky.
Okay.
This was on a billboard in Times Square,
dude,
in New York City.
Dude, so it was like the photo and logo, and I didn't realize till after the show. Dude, that was like a game-changing day for me, actually.
Talk to me about it.
You got me hella emotional right off the rip.
That's the whole point, baby.
Dude, so, like, that was a great show. So, it was New York. So, that's the closest thing to a hometown show for me.
Definitely.
Like, on the tour. There's no Connecticut stop. But, so my girlfriend came out to that. My best friend, P.MO, came out to that. And I had, like, some high school friends come out. It was just, like, a great night. It was a great night, like, hanging out with, like, all them, and that I was like really satisfied with that. Like, to me, that made the night so special. And then after, I'm just like, I leave on the bus and I'm like going through like social media, and I see like all these posts of like George's like face on this like Times Square thing, and it's like, yo, I took that photo. And to me, that's crazy, because a year before that, I wasn't even doing photography. So it's like in a year, like, I don't know, I just got super. It's just crazy, man.
I mean,
like,
just somebody as a creative, I feel like that.
Oh
even if it was one of
gosh.
your videos up there, that would still be just as big of a compliment.
You're gonna make me cry hella early on.
That's the point,
but that,
man.
Like, dude, like that was a really emotional night for me, because it's like after that night, like I just was like super thankful. I was messaging my friends that came out, and I just was like, yo, I appreciate you guys, because it means a lot, you know, like that. It's like, it's not the furthest trip, but it's still a trip to go to New York City to come out.
Yeah.
So it was really nice to see them. And then to have that happen, it's like, yo, this is really possible. Like, I can start doing photos this year, and then next year have a photo in Times Square. I can start producing music and then get a song on the viral charts. You know what I think people shouldn't be discouraged, like, from doing what they want to do. Like, it's possible. Anything you put your mind to is possible.
Yeah.
So that's like where that comes from.
Yeah, and I mean, you're being that example right now. You know, like so many times I think we can scream like follow your dreams, and I've found that the best thing that I can do is you know, talk about it and say like, go follow your dreams, follow your passions. But the best thing that I can do is actually be the example.
Yeah.
So it's like, I can't tell anybody else how to live their life. I'm going to scream and try to push that positivity. But all I'm going to do is document my journey and show you my life and how I'm trying to make shit happen.
Yeah.
And I can only hope that it inspires you, because the last thing I want is to tell somebody how to live their life. But like you're saying, I'm just here trying to show you guys and gals, like, I did it and I'm going to keep doing it. You can go do it too.
Yeah. I think with that being said, one of my goals is like, really, like, I aspire to inspire. That's like probably one of my biggest things. Like, I love being a creative, but if I can inspire somebody who was like in a position that I was in, like for them to go out and like start doing photos and then seeing progress, and then that, or doing video, seeing progress, like if they, you know what I mean? If someone just takes the leap and sees success from that, off of like, maybe it's me that says something, maybe it's somebody else. It doesn't have to be me. It could be anybody. But my goal is like to inspire other people to do what they love and make it happen, and, you know, see that it's possible, you know, because I always say this, but I hate when people get discouraged, because it's like, growing up, I feel like being like a creative, like it doesn't seem like a viable career, you know, like at least for me growing up, like I was like taught like from my school system, at least, where it's like 9-to-5 job, you need to go to college, you need to do this, you need to do. I did pretty much the opposite of everything I was told, and here I am. You know what I mean? Like, I'm fine, I'm living, and I'm doing what I love.
Well, I think schools, it's a system.
It's crazy,
right?
Bro.
So it's like you go from first grade to second grade to third grade to fourth grade. And so they are still preaching the concept of, you graduate high school, you're going to go to college, and after college, you're going to get a 9-to-5, or you're going to get a job. But there isn't enough push of the creatives, of the people that are making this lifestyle, you know, like it's a blessing of the people that both of us are surrounded by, because we're around the I mean, look, you're on tour with Watsky, you guys are touring nationwide.
Oh my God.
Put the music aside, that's somebody who's living the passion. Like, there's
no joke.
So many people in this world that would kill to go on tour, to be an artist, to be a video guy, to be a photographer,
no joke,
to be the DJ, to just be part of that world.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you're part of it, you're doing it. But
dude, it's really crazy. And like, when you put it in, like, it's just, I really do appreciate it, because there are people that come out to shows. Like, there are other photographers that come out to the shows, and they'll like be like, mind you, I'm in a state that I've never like been, like I spent maybe 3-4 days total there, just because I've been on tour there. And like, someone will come up to me like at a show, they'll be like, yo, your work inspires me so much. And it's like, to me, that's like the craziest thought, because it's like, you know, I'm just doing what I love, and it's like, I'm glad that it has, and that's my goal. My goal is to inspire, but it's crazy that by me just working as hard as I can in what I love, that it has that impact. And, you know, like, to me, that makes it all worth it, you know? So when someone says that, like, I'll tell them, like, you have no idea how much that means to me, because by them saying that to me, you're telling me that I'm achieving one of my goals.
And it's firing you up to keep going.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, dude.
Let's go back to Stamford, Connecticut.
Hell yeah, man.
What's this place like for you growing up?
Oh man. So Stamford, it was great, man. I love Connecticut. Like, the winters are cold, you know?
I feel you on that, brother.
But dude, it's home, man. Like, I get a lot of hometown love. Like, I don't know. It was good. Like, what do you want to know, man?
Everything, man. I want you to paint me that picture. What is this place like for you growing up?
So Stamford, I grew up like in a smaller house, like in the suburbs. And then when my sister was born, I moved to like a bigger house. And I went to Stamford Public School Systems. I went to like Schofield, which was like a magnet school. And then I went to the Academy of Information Technology and Engineering. And
there's a little drop right there.
Yeah, no, it just my high school, and it's just such a mouthful. But that was the high school. It was like an engineering and technology high school.
And how do you think going to that high school benefited you? Because that's definitely a special type of high school to go to.
Yeah, they were super supportive. I was always doing like video and stuff like that back then. So they were just like super supportive. Like, they even hired me back to do their commercials, which was like,
that's pretty epic.
Yeah, I was like, yo, that's crazy. But they're still super supportive. Like, I was shooting a music video pretty recently, and I just asked them if I could shoot there, and they're like, Yeah.
Wow. They didn't.
Yeah.
They were cool with it.
No, my high school like shows a lot of love to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had seen a picture on your Instagram with your father, and it said, "My dad has taught me the game, how to play it and win."
How to win.
What for you is one of the greatest lessons that he's taught you growing up?
I think just like, it might be cliche, but just like be yourself, you know? Like my dad's been like, so my parents have been like super supportive of my career and everything since day one, you know? Like I don't think there was any point where they were like, oh, you shouldn't do that. Or so I think that's like a blessing, because I know there are definitely people out there who try to take a creative path and their parents are like, man, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. So that's like one thing just from my parents in general, is that they were just super supportive of me taking the path of a creative. And, you know, like even when other relatives may have been like, well, how is he making money? How's he doing this? Like, it's like, I'm doing what I love, you know? And now I'm at a point where it's like, it's my career. It's what I do, you know? So it's like all the doubts that anybody else had has kind of faded.
Yeah.
Has faded.
Yeah.
And, yeah, but I think back to just my dad, just be yourself, you know, be true to yourself. My dad's like a very genuine person. He's also really easygoing. So he's like,
you find that that's part of you too? Are you very kind of casual?
Like if someone else is like working up and getting like all crazy, I don't find myself getting crazy, you know? Like he's a diffuser. Like he's good at diffusing situations. That's like what I would say. Like
going back to the part about, you know, relatives might be questioning like, oh, is he making money? How's he doing this? I actually had somebody DM me last night saying like, how do I battle that? They're at a point now, and this kid was all the way from India. Yeah, he's like, how do I battle like my parents not believing me? Blah blah blah. And honestly, you kind of just have to let your actions do the talking.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong.
You can try to explain the vision of being a content creator or being a video guy, but they're probably not going to fully understand it. But if you just keep your mouth shut and let the actions do the speaking,
100%.
At some point things are going to turn, and then they're going to go, oh, okay, now we get it. Keep going, Mike.
Yeah. I think there was just like some points where it was just like, because I started this at like, I did my first U.S. tour when I was 20.
Damn.
Yeah. So there were just some points.
Who was the first tour with?
First tour, so it was with Watsky.
Oh, okay.
So Watsky was headlining and Whit Lowry was opening.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was like my first U.S. tour. It was pretty good overall.
Yeah.
It was like more of like a hustle, you know? So yeah, it was just like definitely more of a hustle.
What would you say is one of your just one more question on the child, and then we'll get into more of like the video, but what for you is one of the favorite childhood memories? Like when you think back to growing up in Stanford, what's one thing that you really cherish or remember?
Damn, man. Trying to see what comes to mind. Like right off rip, like Easter egg hunts come to mind. I don't know why.
Love
like,
it.
Yeah. I'm not like I didn't grow up like religious or anything, but we celebrated like all the holidays.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think. Like
there's two parents and then a sister.
Yes, correct.
And how many years different is the sister?
My sister's 6 years younger.
Oh wow,
yeah.
Okay, so a good amount. And what did your parents do?
So my mom did radio, so she did.
She'd be pumped about. She'll be pumped when this rolls out.
She's always texting me. Like my dad, like when we posted the story up.
Yeah.
My dad like texted me. He's like, "How do I see this podcast?" I'm like, I got you with a link or something. But so my mom did radio, and then when I was born, she like focused on like being a mom.
Yeah.
And then my dad has done like textile, so he does like a lot of textile work, and then he like does like tree like removal and like landscaping.
Hands
like,
guy.
Yeah, he's really good at like. He's just like really good at making like properties look like really nice. He has like, I would say there's like almost like an art to it the way he does it.
Wow.
So yeah.
Now, you said the first tour was at 20, but what initially is getting you to pick up a camera in the first place? What's inspiring you to want to create?
So picking up I don't know if it's like the same thing, but I remember what picking up a camera did. So, or when I picked up a camera. So when I used to play soccer as a kid. I guess that goes back to like childhood memories too. This is actually a good memory too, kind of. I think it is a good memory. It definitely is a good memory, but this little event might have led me to picking up a camera. So I used to play soccer, and I was like I'm really fast. Like I'm a good runner. Like I don't mean that in a cocky way. I'm just.
Is that why you're always wearing the track jackets?
Honestly, I feel like that's like
that's part of your brand now, right?
I don't think they're related though, running, but I actually have a race with somebody later today. Like, yeah.
You guys are just running a race?
Well, I was talking with our tour manager last night. He was like, "Oh, I can like out race you," and I was like, "Oh, I don't know, man." So I'll keep you updated with that.
Can't wait.
So we had that race today. But what was the original question?
But soccer.
Okay, so soccer. So with soccer, it was the last game. It was like the final game, right? And my dad had a camera, and he was like supposed to film it. Dude, I scored the winning goal for the team. Like everyone's so hyped. The celebration, it was like, and as like a young kid, that's like a massive moment in your life.
Yeah.
Like I scored it. Like I don't even whatever move I made, like I didn't even see the kick. Like I kicked the ball and I like slid and I didn't even see what happened. Then I got up and it was just cheering.
Everyone's going crazy.
Everyone was going crazy. It was a great moment for Mike Squires. I went to go watch the footage back. It's just my dad cheering with the camera face down in the grass. And I'm like,
come on, Dad.
Dad, are you kidding me? So then after that event, I pressured my mom a little bit to go get me like whatever cheap camera, like whatever. And I started doing like soccer videos. So that was a game. You know what I mean? So we didn't get the soccer goal on film, but a Mike Squires with the camera was born.
So it kind of worked out in your favor then.
Yeah. The long term, it was a power move.
Yeah, and you shot your first music video, I think it was in high school, with your boy that you still work with, P.MO.
Yeah.
Now, what inside you is telling you to stick with it? Even after the first video of you guys making something in high school, clearly you don't know what you're doing. You probably didn't get some crazy amount of plays, but what's telling you to stick with it?
So, even the, like, my bad.
No, you good.
Even, I just think there was a lot of local love. You know what I mean? Like, I think he was a freshman and I was a sophomore. And I just think the love within high school, like, that was enough. Like, because people in high school will just hype you up. And it's like to me, like, high school at that time is, like, as big as my world is. You know what I mean? So it's like.
It's crazy when you're growing up. Yeah. Your city is the world.
That's what I'm saying. And it's like, so. At the time, my world was showing me so much love and showing him so much love. Just kept doing the next one, the next one, the next one, the next one, and now here we are.
At what moment was there like the first big artist that you worked with? Was it the Watsky tour, or what was the moment that you were you had to take a step back and go, holy shit, I'm actually onto something with this?
So I actually remember it pretty well. A lot of people don't know this, but I used to work at a music venue, and I did all their video recaps and all that. So
in CT?
In CT.
What was the name of the venue?
Tuxedo Junction.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where's that?
In Danbury, Connecticut.
Oh, okay.
That's a crazy story, man. Like, you should. So, not to get sidetracked, but just quick. That venue closed down. Like, a crazy thing happened. My boy So he's our age, like he's 23. He got arrested for 3 years because of all this crazy stuff, and now he's working on a book and a doc. Crazy, man. Shout out my dude Ian Bick. Shout out, dude. Dude literally FaceTimed me from jail, bro.
What?
That's a whole other story.
Yeah, holy
man. I support getting Ian on here if that ever lines up or makes sense for both of you guys.
If he gets a doc rolling out, we'll do some press. 100% I'll cover that.
Yeah. No, he's a really cool dude.
So,
regardless of whatever happened.
You're working at the venue, making.
Okay. So back to the moment.
Yeah.
It wasn't at that venue, but the thing that led me to working at that venue and doing shows. So it was the first time that I filmed on stage, and that was at a Big Sean concert.
Lit.
Yeah, and that was like, I don't think I even knew what I was doing as much as far as like camera work goes, but it was just like that was the first time I set foot on like a big stage, and the crowd was like a pretty decent sized crowd.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, like I'm supposed to be here right now. You know what I mean? Like this is like they want me here to shoot this show. This is crazy. And this is 2012.
Wow.
2012. It's 2012. And that was the time that like Click came out. Like Big Sean was like dropping so many songs. Like I think Guap came out around like then too, which was like my jam. And I don't know, it was a big moment for me.
Yeah. It didn't even matter. So it really didn't even matter what you were producing. It was just the fact that you had the ability to be on stage, had the access to shoot.
I guess so, yeah.
The energy of kind of Big Sean really getting his career started.
Yeah. And
it was on every blog at that time.
But even like the promoters and people who made that possible, like to me, that's like somebody believing in me. You know what I mean? Like I'm just this kid who recently picked up a camera. Like I must have had my camera for... So prior to that, I landscaped the entire summer just to buy used camera equipment, right? And then after I landscaped, got the used camera equipment, and then within 2 months of me getting that used camera equipment, I was on stage with Big Sean. So and mind you, I'm a 16-year-old at this time. So that's like, what the heck?
You're just like, I can't believe this is happening.
Yeah, it was like a really good feeling. But I always like managed to still like remain like low key.
Yeah.
So it's like I would do something like that and I just like wouldn't talk about it like too much because I was like just focused. Okay, so like what's the next move? What's the, you know what I mean? Like, because you want to build, you know, like you don't want that one thing to be your... That's it.
The party's over.
Yeah, so I think it's just important to, like, keep building and just growing. And, you know, you want to see yourself. Like, if today I was like, okay, it was a good run. I think I've crushed it. Like, no. Like, you got to keep growing. It's so important because when you stop learning, that's the biggest mistake you can make. Like, don't stop learning because you're cutting yourself off from like potentially growing, potentially finding out something new, potentially be like changing your own life. You know what I mean? So it's just keeping your mind open and there's always things you can learn. Like, I don't care if I'm 23 now. I don't care if I'm 60 years old. Like, I'm just going to keep learning because if I don't, I'm just going to get stale real quick. And, you know, like, that's not what I don't want to be stale. Who wants to be stale?
Nobody. You had made the comment about the used equipment, and then you also, before we fired up the podcast, and I was pointing out the ghetto tripod that I have with 2 legs on the floor, one on the bed that people can't visually see or you're listening. How important was it to just make use of what you had when you were starting off?
Let me tell you the story about my first music video. My first music video was shot with my boy P.MO, and we're still going strong today, which I'm so thankful for, you know. That was in 2011. It's 2019 now. Yeah. Right? So the first music video, it was shot on a camera that was borrowed from my high school. And I didn't have a computer at the time or anything. So I sat in a Starbucks with him using his laptop to edit the video. You know what I mean? And the footage is like so hooped. It was...
It's still on YouTube? Still on YouTube?
No.
No. You took it down?
I don't think it's there. But I'm not 100% sure. But if you're trying to find it, it's definitely you have to do your research. Okay. Yeah, I think. I don't think it's there. I don't know. I don't know the answer to this one. I want to say no.
So you edit it in the Starbucks and you put it out there to the world.
Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't like for where I was at that time. Yeah. I think it was pretty sick, you know? But it was just starting. It was the first one ever, you know? So, like, I think it was like a first attempt, you know? So, we put it out to the world, and then, that's kind of what happened. But I don't think, so with that one, I didn't see much happen. When we did the one after that, like the second one, when we shot a video in Times Square, that was the one where we started seeing, like, more success. Yeah.
You eventually go on to, I'm gonna build some clout for you. You go on to work with Sammy Adams, Yonas, Roscoe Dash, Chris Webby, Devvon Terrell. 2 previous guests of the podcast, Cam Meekins, episode 72. Shout out to you, Cam, and shout out to Abstract, episode 96 of the podcast. Of all the music video directors, why are these people choosing you to work with?
Damn. That's a tricky one, man. I'm trying to think. That's a good question, man. And I don't know. Like, I guess domino effect, I guess, maybe.
I was going to say it had to have been one relationship led to another.
Yeah. Like, So I can tell you how I like linked with a lot of these people.
Let's hear it.
So if you name them off, I'll tell you how I like linked with them.
Or where does it all begin? You got Sammy Adams, Yonas, Roscoe Dash,
I'll
Chris
start with
Webby.
Yonas because Yonas was I linked with Yonas through Hunter Lyon. So,
shout out to Hunter.
Yeah, Hunter,
another CT legend.
Dude, that's what I'm saying, man. Hunter, like, pretty early on, like, let me come on set with him and stuff like so. Hunter definitely like opened my eyes to like a lot of stuff too, and I don't think a lot of people like know that. So Hunter's like a really good dude, and I like really appreciate him because he was one of the people who gave me like a solid chance when I just was starting.
Wow.
You know, so I really do fuck with Hunter. And then so he linked me with Yonas, and then through Yonas had a song that featured Sammy Adams and Roscoe Dash. So that's how I linked with those two dudes. And then after that video, Sammy hit me up separately to shoot his Overboard video. So I did that with him right before the tour with Watsky in 2000. No, that was the craziest. Whoa, that was a crazy experience. I was middle of tour when I shot that. We had an off day. We were in like Lawrence, Kansas. I flew out to Atlanta, like red eye, woke up. No, I slept on my flight, then went straight to the shoot, shot the video, and then hopped on a flight that night to catch back up with the tour. That was nuts.
That's a grind right there.
That was unreal.
You probably felt like that was probably like, it was a grind, but you probably loved every moment of like, dude, I'm getting flown out from the tour to shoot a music video with Sammy Adams and then back to tour.
It was hella fun.
Yeah.
It was definitely hella fun. Yeah. That was like, so that was the Yonas like role, because I think we shot their parts separately. So Roscoe Dash's part and Sammy Adams' part on the Yonas song were shot on 2 different days.
Gotcha.
Yeah, shout out my dude Yonas.
Shout out to Yonas.
Dude, yeah. I've done like so many cool video projects with Yonas.
Yeah.
And then Devvon Terrell, I met him in New York City. I'm trying to think. I think it was like a futuristic. I'm trying to remember who was on the tour. It was somebody's tour that we went out to. It was futuristic, Huey Mack.
Oh, dude, that was a legendary tour.
Yeah.
Huey Mack, futuristic, Devvon Terrell, Cam Meekins.
Yes, they all were there.
I wasn't, I'm trying to think if there was one more. Someone else, maybe.
It was TJ Hickey.
You're right. It was TJ Hickey. Yeah, shout out to the 5 of those legends all touring together.
No.
So that's how you met Devvon?
Yeah, so that was the night that I met Devvon. And I don't know if I met Cam that night too. I feel like we met before that, but maybe that was the night Cam and I like met.
Linked up?
Yeah.
Wow. And what about Chris Webby? You another CT guy.
So Chris Webby, I've gone to like Webby shows like when I was like younger too. And then I guess Webby just like reached out to me. I don't know at what point, like I don't know how we like ended up linking, but we ended up linking, and I've done like a bunch of videos for Webb. Like, yeah, I want to link with Webb again. Like, I haven't seen him in like a minute, so it'd be
he's
like,
still based out of CT, right?
Yeah. I feel like every time that he's touring, like I'm home, and then when I'm touring, he's home.
Yeah.
So like reverse schedules, but yeah, no, Webb's such a good dude. Like, dude, his like. I went over, his parents are the coolest people ever. Like every time I go over his house, like his mom makes me like a grilled cheese. Like his dad is the coolest guitar player ever. Like they're just good people, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How, going off of, you got Chris Webby from Connecticut, you got Whit Lowry from Connecticut, you got Hunter Lyon from Connecticut. Woo. How does seeing these people from your state succeed inspire you?
I think it just goes back to like it's possible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's like the biggest thing. I know that there are people like from my hometown that see these things happening, like see like Hunter just did a video with Black Bear.
Huge.
That's fucking awesome.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And it's like if you're from Connecticut and you're like aware of like who he is, there's no way that doesn't inspire you. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't know. I think people just see it happening and it just inspires them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but I think ultimately it can go one of two ways.
Yeah.
You want it to inspire people. You want it to fire people up. But then somebody else that might be competing in a video lane might go, damn, like, kind of like get salty that he got the look that they didn't get. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess so. I think my mentality's never like really been like, dude, this world is so big. There are so many people. There are so many like, there's room enough for everybody. You know what I mean? Like, and I think it just comes down to like how badly you want it. Like, okay, I could like, someone could be like, oh, well, he's doing this and get like super salty. Like, Like, what are you doing for you, man? Like, just focus. You got to focus on your path. Don't look left and right, because everyone's journey is so different. Like, my come up might be different than your come up. Your come up might, like, you know what I mean? Everybody has their story. Everybody has their journey. You can't focus on everybody else's stuff. It's like, you just got to focus on your stuff and just making sure you're happy, you're content, you're creating what you want.
Yeah.
Like, I have this like quote that I live by, man. If you do nothing, nothing happens. And I know it's such a silly, like, well, duh, Mike, if you do nothing, nothing happens, bro. But if you really think about it, like, if you do nothing, nothing happens.
Yeah.
Like, as in, like,
simplicity.
Yeah, bro, like, don't get mad if things aren't going your way if you're doing nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, but I like to show love to everybody. If you go on my Instagram, there was a kid who was like chirping me. He was like being super rude and everything, but I approached that situation with love, man. I was just like, man, like, what's going on? Why am I getting this like response from you? Like, is there anything I could do to help? And I'm sorry if I've done anything that made you feel this way, even though I don't necessarily owe this dude an apology or anything, because I've never done anything wrong, and he's just like a random dude chirping me. But it's like, I don't like people, like, I don't do anything that like really warrants hate, you know? So it's like, if someone's hating, like, they're just coming from their own place, and maybe they have like their own demons or stuff. But if someone comes to me and they hate me, like, I'm not going to be like, forget this dude.
Yeah.
Like, I'm coming open arms, man. Like, come talk to me. Let's figure out why you're upset and like what we can do to make things better. You know, Some people are more open to that than not, but you know, like, I'm not going to fight hate with hate. Fight hate with love, man.
And it's important because I think fighting back with the love, it ultimately it solves the issue, and you're not taking it personally. I don't want to say it solves the issue, but it's important to not let situations like that personally bother you or get you caught up, because I'm the same way.
Yeah.
But there are definitely people listening or people out there that would take it personal, would fight back. Don't spend any time and energy feeding into that bullshit. Yeah. Like, there's something, I always look at it as like, if somebody's negatively commenting or trying to pull down on you, think about the bigger issue. They don't have something to focus on. Yeah. So their only option is to focus on other people that are trying to do something bigger and better for themselves. Yeah. And spread negativity because they don't have a direction.
Dude, and the thing is, like, if they came into a situation positively, like, dude, I'm so open to having people on my music video sets. I'm so open to people coming to shoot a show with me. I'm so open to people coming to like work with music on me or with me. Like, dude, I'm just so open to like working with people regardless of like, you know what I mean? If they're just starting out or established, like, I'm just, you know what I mean? So it's like, if you're trying to do like music production, just be like, yo, Mike, I'd love to like work on something with you. Like, if that's something they want to do. And, you know, I'm open to that idea, you know? So it's like, to me, when you're hating, you're shooting yourself in the foot. Yeah. Yeah.
That's true.
You know, like, dude, like, the dude that like came at me on Instagram, like, it's like, I'll show him love, but am I going to have him on my set, like, on a music video? I'm not going to rule it out entirely, but if he keeps the mentality where he's at right now, absolutely not. Yeah. You know?
It's not worth your time.
Yeah, and I just don't, like, dude, you are the people you surround yourself with. And you just, like, to me, I'd much rather have people that are super positive, loving, and, like, want to see each other win than somebody who's, like, crushing it and, like, just not a negative person. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's who I base my people that are around me now. Like, everybody I keep in my circle is like positive people who want to see each other win, and then they just fight everything with love. You know what I mean? Like, that's how they approach it. Like, they're not like fighting fire with fire. They're just like, they're trying to diffuse the fire and see everybody win.
That's how everybody wins in the long play, is building each other up and spreading that positivity and trying to you don't have to necessarily have all the same goals, but if you're surrounded by passionate people or people that have something that they're working on, there's an energy that you feed off of it. Yeah. I had seen in a past interview you described your visuals as creative, magical, and inspiring.
Damn.
How do you make sure every project
That's an old interview, man. Yeah. Right?
How do you make sure every project hits all three?
Creative.
Creative, magical, and inspiring.
Creative. All right, so creative, damn, that's like a 2012 interview. I still stand by it though. I still stick it. So creative, trying to think outside the box, doing something that like somebody hasn't done before, you know, which is easier said than done. You know, sometimes it hits that mark, sometimes it doesn't. But, you know, just like challenging yourself. So what I'll do is like I'll come up with a concept, and like it'll be like the general concept for a video, and then I'll be like, okay, so now what can we do to push this further? Like what can we do to take it to that next level? Like what's gonna make this like have that, like, we're allowed to swear on here, right?
Yeah.
What's gonna make it have that oh shit factor? You know, like where someone just like like they press play and they're just like, damn, oh shit. Like
you want them to replay it. Like,
yeah,
I need
you
to
know
watch
what I
that
mean?
again.
Like to me the biggest win is like if I can create something where they're like, yo, how did they do that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I think that'll come in time. Like I might have done it on some projects, like for some people, but to me, like I know how I did it because, but you know what I mean? Like, cause I know the videos that impress me are the ones where I press play and I'm like, how did they do that? You know? So that's so creative.
Magical.
I think just like a magical maybe comes down into just like your personal touch, you know, like where it's just like needs to be special to you, you know, like I treat every project like super, like I'm so passionate about, like I don't take on projects that I'm not passionate about, because if I do that, I don't think the video is going to have the best results. So I think just being really passionate about like each project and like making sure that like I'm the right dude. Like I've definitely turned down projects that I'm like, man, like I don't know if I'm the dude for this project, like, cause I really want to crush it for you, but maybe I'm like not feeling the song as much, or maybe I just don't have like an idea that's like really sticking with me. So, you know, I only take on projects that I'm like, really, oh my gosh, this would be crazy to do. Why don't we do this? Why don't we do this? Why don't, you know what I mean? So I think that's like a big thing too. And then
inspiring.
That's the goal, man. I want people to be able to like watch a video and just be like, man, I can do this. I can make something like this happen. Like if Mike can do it, man, if I can do it, anybody can do it. That's the way I look at it.
And turning down those projects, have you learned the lesson and incorporated that into your own life of like being good at saying no to certain things?
It's hard. Like in person, it's so hard for me to say no rather than in person, I feel like. Or no, in person it's harder for me to say no than like on an email. So I don't know. It's just I don't know. I just was like I'm pretty respectful, like, because if I say no to something, like it's because I have your best interest. You know what I mean? It's not like I just like want to make sure that whatever you're trying to do, you get the results, and I want to make sure I'm the person to do that, you know? So it's like if I'm taking on a project, I'm like super passionate about it, you know?
Yeah, if you're going to put your name to it, you want to make sure that you can execute on it.
That's another huge thing. Like everything I put out like represents me. You know what I mean? So it's like I want to be proud of everything that I put out. So I guess that's where, and then as long as I'm proud of everything I put out and it's like the highest quality that I can create at the time, then hopefully that inspires people, you know, because I'm doing this by myself. I don't have a team. It's literally just me and a camera. Yeah,
what's key is what you just said, is that as long as it's produced at the highest quality at that moment in time.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably been one of the biggest creative lessons I've learned since starting the podcast.
Yeah.
Is early on, I was so obsessed and so nitpick about like, is this perfect? Is this perfect? And then I realized that it's literally never going to be perfect, because as confident as I might feel right now about this project, 6 months from now, I'm going to look back and I'm not going to not be happy with the end result, but I might laugh at like small details. Yeah. So I think as a creative, or anybody in general really, is you can't get too obsessed with creating the perfect project, because it's literally impossible.
There's a Gary V quote.
Love it. Here, let's hear it.
And I'm pretty sure if it's not exactly this, it's pretty close. Don't let perfect get in the way of good enough. And like as an artist, like, you know what I mean? Good enough, I'm like, no, I want to be better than good enough. But there is a value to that. You know what I mean? Where it's like, the way I interpret that is like, don't drive yourself crazy. You know what I mean? Because it's like, oh, this isn't perfect. You know what I mean? Like half the things that you're worrying about, nobody's going to even notice. You know what I mean? Like as long as it's not like awful. You know what I mean? But like, if you're really putting the effort in and making it as good as possible, like, you're good.
Yeah.
You're good. You know what I mean? Because you're only going to progress, and people like seeing progression. You know what I mean? People don't, like, if you come out of nowhere and then you're doing the top, that's like, it's like, whoa, how did that happen? I feel like people like following a journey, you know? Like, and I think there is a value, like, if you're able to go straight to the top, hell yeah. But I don't know. To me, there's value in the journey.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
I look at it as, especially my own journey, literally right now, it's like, I look at every week just giving me a chance to get better at my craft.
Yeah.
I don't have millions of people hitting me up like trying to get on the podcast
Yeah.
or trying to watch and review. I know that when the time comes and I'm ready to step up to that plate, I'm ready for it because I've had all these at bats that I'm ready for that. So I feel like it's got to be the same with visually. It's like you didn't want to blow up off your first music video.
Yeah.
Because now you have all the pressure on you. You're not ready for it.
Yeah.
But now that you've been doing this for so long, you're ready for any opportunity and you'll be ready to go.
Yeah. No, I think there is definitely some truth to that. Like, I was thinking about this the other day because, like, I still, like, when I hop into projects, like, I worry about logistics. I worry, you know, making sure, like, the project comes out great. You know what I mean? But with that being said, there hasn't been, like, a music video that I've been, like, hired for that has like, I've never not delivered on a music video. You know what I mean? So it's like that little factor helps me, you know, that little factor is like, so when I go into future projects, it's like, well, I've delivered on every single video up until this point. Like, you got this, Mike.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You care.
Yeah.
You care about the work you're doing. You care about, more importantly, you care about the people you're working for or working with.
Yeah, no, 100%, because it's my job to make them look good. And if I'm not doing that, I'm messing up. You know what I mean? So it's like, if, like how you were talking to me earlier, like, just like you want to make people look like a star, you know what I mean? And you want to make them shine, like, and stand out. Like, that's the biggest thing. Like, I think on top of doing a good video, but like making sure that whoever you're working with, they stand out. Like, you know, they want to be different from a crowd. Like, you don't want like make a video that like everybody else is doing because everybody else is doing it. For me personally, like, I'd rather stick in my own lane and just do it how I would do it rather than try to like emulate someone's like style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're on tour right now with Watsky across the nation. I know you've toured quite a bit internationally with Wit, with Abstract.
Yes.
What do you think has changed the most about you since being exposed to different cultures in different parts of the world?
I think it kind of goes back to the high school thing where it's like at that time, like in my life, high school was my world. I've seen so many different places in the world at this point. Like, I've lost count, which is crazy to think about, but my world is so much bigger. You know what I mean? Like, things like...
Rattle it off. Where have you been? Just rattle. Go.
Oh, man. Oh, geez. Amsterdam, Paris, Iceland, Cancun I've been to for work. These are all work places. Puerto Vallarta, a bunch of Canadian places. Dude, so many places. China. I've been to China.
For music?
No, so that was the one I didn't. That's a whole story, like, when I was like younger.
Okay.
But that's probably the one I didn't go to, but that's just like a place that randomly stands out. My dad had a business trip there when I was younger, and the dude who he's supposed to go with got like sick, and they had like an extra ticket and stuff that they were able to change the name.
There you go, Mike.
That's basically how that happened. So
he was making up for the video camera day.
Yeah. No.
Have you been to every state in the U.S.?
No, I haven't been to Alaska, and I haven't been to Hawaii.
But you've been like on the mainland though. You've been to every single state.
I want to say yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Because the thing is, if we haven't had a show there, we've definitely had an off day there. Maybe I haven't been to North and South Dakota. Maybe.
No, I don't think you're missing much. Sorry if we have any listeners there, but I've been out that way before.
Yeah.
Flat and a whole lot of land.
To be honest, I might have been. Like, that's like how crazy it is, where it's like, I've never been to, so I didn't think I went to Nevada ever. And then someone was like, no, we were there. And I was like, oh, okay, then I guess I've been in Nevada. So I was like,
it's right next door to us.
Yeah, so I've been there, I guess.
Well, then answer this for me instead. So you've been exposed to so much.
Yeah.
Thinking back to that kid in high school who only knew Stanford.
You're gonna make me emotional.
What would you want to tell him about like what the world is like?
Dude,
there's a lot of people that I'm sure listen to this that have never really been outside their their hometown, maybe even their state.
Dude, that's
so it's like what have you seen or learned from being to all these places? Amsterdam, Paris, China, bro. Like, it's so natural for you because you're like doing this for your work, but there are people that are listening that are like, holy shit, man, what's this all about?
Yeah, dude. I think there's just so many people out there, and there's like, dude, the world is a big place, but it's also like a really small place because I've ran into some people that I've met before in the most random places. So I don't know, like I would say just the world. My bad.
No, you're good.
The world is like a really crazy place, man, and there's just so much to do and there's so much to see. Like, I'm just super thankful that I have a career path that takes me out of my state, dude. My biggest fears in life: staying in one place forever, rocking a 9-to-5 job for a job that I just don't like, getting stuck into a situation that like isn't my like ideal situation. You know, these are the things that like freak me out. Like college debt. You know what I mean? Like,
right here.
My bad, dude.
Yeah, I didn't even get to glimpse of that. You didn't go to college, right?
I did not.
Smart man.
Well, so I went to community college. But when I went to community, like that was just to appease like
check it off the box.
It was just to appease like the other family like members that, because I came out of high school knowing what I wanted to do right off rip. Like I knew that I wanted to follow a creative career. I knew I wanted to do music videos. I knew I wanted to create, and so I just went to college, like a community college, and because it was the easiest college. It was super cheap, and just while I was like trying to figure things out, dude, you know how crazy it is flying out on weekends to do shoots and then coming back to painting class on Monday? That was the most wild experience. Like, it just felt, and the more I did that, it just felt
the less you wanted to be there.
The less I wanted to be there, and like I was putting I would work so hard on a painting, and then the teacher would just be like, and then I'd have millions of views online, and I'm like, this is the craziest thing.
So what were your parents saying? You need to go to school, or they just like, you figure it out, Mike?
They were a little bit of, well, it was just as new to them as it was to me. So it's like they're just trying to understand too, because they're seeing me fly out on weekends to like do like shoots and stuff, and then they're like, it's just like a learning experience, I guess, for everybody. But I think they wanted me to stay in school until like, you know, like
4-year program type thing.
Well, I don't think they cared. I think at the end of the day, they were just more important that I was happy and, you know, doing what I love. But they also, you know, they're my parents. They care. They want to make sure it's like a sustainable thing, you know, and like my mom came from radio and my dad like textiles, and but they're like also like they're creative people too, for sure. Yeah. But it's like not like a super creative profession. Like I guess like radio like is, and my dad is like with like, but it's not like
what you were doing. Yeah,
it's not like video, like, which, you know, as like dude, I was 17 in college, right? So like when I went to community college, I was 17, 18, and then I think I left when I was like 18, 19, right? So I went for 2 years, and I just remember just like, yo, I can't do this anymore. I just was like, I'm super done with this. Like, cause I think the one class that, dude, when I just went recently, like to go check something out, and I just jokingly asked them what my GPA is. Like, I wasn't a bad student. I had like a 3.8.
Wow.
Yeah. And the one class that brought me down, dude, painting. And I was like, yo.
Of all classes, that should be the one that it's boosting you up.
That's what I'm saying. And it's like, man, I have this dude who's literally, and painting such a like, I mean, obviously there's like techniques and stuff, but to me it's like, is it a good painting?
Yeah.
Is it a bad painting?
What community college was this?
Just Norwalk Community College. So it's like a town over from me.
Yeah. And did you end up completing the 2 years, or no? You just
I'm 2 credits away.
Wow.
Yeah.
You think you'll ever go back just to achieve it, or no?
So I was there recently, and
there's got to be like one online course that you could do.
So that's what it is. But I jokingly wanted to, when I kind of want to hold out, and it's never going to be a thing, but I would love to do like a Mike Goes Back to School TV show or something. And like, I just need to get things like super to the next level.
Yeah.
And then pitch them with the idea and just tell them I won't be like destructive or anything. like hopefully I'm at a point where I can like make a good donation to the college to make this happen.
Yeah.
But dude, what's the point? Like,
100%.
That like, that's the thing. Like a lot of people are like that. Dude, you're so close. Why don't you just get the degree? I have never had anybody ask me for my diploma. I've never had any, just ever. And don't get me. So I want to make this super clear. If you have a profession that you need a college, like if you're trying to be a doctor or a lawyer, go to school, man. If you're trying to be a video guy or a rapper, don't go to school, man. Like, you know that, like, because you're just gonna put yourself in the hole, and like to me that's scary. Like I don't want to pay debt. Like, you know, they scare, like college, like debt scares me, dude.
Yeah.
Like I just like I didn't want to like work that off. So like, and that's something I realized like early on. So I'm like thankful for that. But that, I think it also comes from me being able to go out on weekends and do shoots and stuff like that, because I was making not the craziest money, but I was making money. And if your end goal is to shoot videos, you know, what's going to do that better than shooting videos?
Experience.
You know what I mean? Well, that's, so now that goes back to the question of like traveling and being like all, dude, I have learned so much from traveling like to all the places than I ever feel like I would have. Like, it's just a different learning experience than college.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I definitely learned a lot from my school when I was there, but man, just being out there, like you learn, like you just learn so many different things. You learn different things about different people, communities, like how people do things. Like you meet so many different people, man. I can't even tell you how many people I like. My world from high school of being, I went to a small high school, 600 students, went from just everywhere, dude.
Worldwide.
Dude, bro, when you go to Europe and, oh, I'm gonna get emotional.
We got dogs going crazy too.
Dude, they're hype, man. They're hype because they know what I'm about to say is about to be the craziest thing. Dude, when you're able to go to Europe and have someone come up to you and be like, yo, man, your work inspires me, that's like, bro, that's the craziest thing. Like for me, like, you know, like maybe it, like I've been in it for a while, so maybe it doesn't seem like a big deal right off the rip, but dude, I started this in little small town in Connecticut, and I'm having an impact that reaches to a different country. What, dude, they don't even speak the same language. Yeah. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
This is the crate. So I don't know, man. It's just like, and it goes back to my goal of like inspiring, like the fact that I'm able to do it on like a massive scale. And I've like people, even if it's like a few people, like they found their way to let me know. And that is crazy. You know what I mean? And the crazier thing is that it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Yeah. So it's like, it's crazy, man.
As you keep moving forward, as you keep producing and you keep getting better at your craft, what do you want to see next happen for Mike Squires in visual content? I know you've done, you've done music videos, you've done, I think, commercials before. I think you've done a little bit of short films. Like, what to you would you like to see happen?
I think just like get to the next level. You know, one person who's like really inspired, like Watsky's video content is unreal. And I was able to go on like a shoot with him like earlier this year for his like, or I guess earlier, like within like the last 365 days, but I guess it was last fall for his Welcome to the Family shoot. And just like, man, keep in mind, I come from a world of, it's just me, camera, I direct, I edit, just, it's a
one-stop shop.
It's a one-stop shop. It's a one-man crew. Dude, seeing the productions, and I was on like I was on his like What Goes Up video shoot too. Like seeing that level of like production and like what they're creating is like crazy, man. It's like, it just opens me up to like a whole new world and a whole new way of thinking. It's like learning, like you learn by like seeing. So it's like, okay, so this person does this person does this. They make this happen by doing that. You know what I mean? So it's like, to me, like that's a huge learning experience. And it's like, so to answer your question, like I'd love to get my productions to the, like that level where I'm directing videos that are like scale it, you know? But I don't want to like rush into it. Like I want to make sure that when I'm doing things like that, it's like coming at the right time. And you know.
And how old are you today?
I'm 23.
And see, that's why, say that one more time.
I'm 23.
Think about that number.
Yeah.
You're 23 and look what you've accomplished so far, you know? So it's like, it's literally inevitable.
Yeah.
As long as you keep going and you keep staying consistent.
That's how I feel,
like there's
man.
no, it's not even a feeling. It's
So-
like the truth.
Yeah, I think I've had a talk with like Parker, so that's P.MO. That's his real name, Parker, everybody. So I had a talk with him, and it's like, I think we have this quote. It's like, not a matter of how or anything or what. It's a matter of just when.
Yeah.
You know, because it's there at this point. There's like no reason why it wouldn't, like, getting to that next level wouldn't happen. You know.
Yeah.
The only person that's gonna stop me is this guy right here.
Yeah.
If I do nothing, nothing happens, man.
Yeah. To quote one of the previous guests I've had on a podcast, he was episode 111. His name's Charlie Rocket.
Okay.
And he said it's going to happen. Time just hasn't caught up yet.
Man.
Time hasn't.
What was that dude's name?
Charlie Rocket. Episode 111.
Shout out Charlie Rocket.
At Charlie on IG.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's true. That's kind of what you have to trick yourself into just believing is like you just have to keep going.
Yeah.
And believe that with time it's inevitable.
Yeah, I think when you just get started out, you need like a certain level of like almost like a little bit of like crazy confidence. Like there has to be
100%.
There's like got to be that like
To start,
yeah, just
is the
to
hardest
start.
part.
That,
it's like a domino effect. Once you get rolling,
yeah,
it's game changer. It's game over.
Yeah, I haven't like so that's like because I used to be like when I was just starting out. Yo, what's the next thing? What am I doing? What's like the next project? Now I haven't like not done a project in like probably going on a few years now. So it's like I'm not stressing as much because I have like so many other things that like I just like creating. So it's like in different fields, whether it's video, music, managing, like tour, like I'm doing one of those things. So it's like I don't feel like I'm always busy.
You don't have all your eggs in one basket too. You're kind of trying out a little bit of everything.
Huge thing that I've learned. Do not put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
Do not put your eggs in one basket because baskets, they come and go, man. They come and go. So it's like you dodge a lot of bullets by not putting all your eggs in one basket.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because like this basket goes away. Thank God there's all these other baskets, man.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like don't put your eggs in one basket.
Well,
don't do it.
Don't do it. What would be, thinking back to the young Mike when he was just going back to what you were just saying, like just getting started off, what's the one advice you'd want to give to him when you were just picking up the camera, when you were just kind of getting into this creating? What would you say to him?
That's a good one, man. I don't know. I think just like maybe if there was like anything that I was like worrying about or like doubting, then don't. But I think that's like part of the journey, man. Like you need to know that feeling of like, damn, is this gonna work? Because then that makes when it works so much more rewarding. So I don't know, man. I would just like from like a mindset, just like stay. Oh, you know what I could tell myself? Keep positive people around you. Like don't like if you feel like something is not right, it's probably not right. So, just make sure that you're positive people around you and that you're happy in every situation that you're working in, So it's like, because I've definitely had like a few life lessons along this way. So it's like, but yeah, I don't let anything bring me down though. And I don't think old Mike let anything bring him down either. So it's like if anything happens that like might not be super ideal, that fuels the fire, man.
Yeah.
That fuels the fire.
What's also interesting is that going back to also the eggs in not one basket, you started producing music sometime in 2016, I think it was.
Yeah.
And your first batch of beats just hit 5 million streams on Spotify with your boy.
My best friend, dude.
Your best friend.
Dude, from high school. What more can I ask for?
Yeah.
Literally.
I mean, how is this another example for you of that if I put my mind towards something, I can make shit happen?
Dude, when I started making beats, like, there was definitely, I got this, I'm ready.
Yeah, now you're good, don't worry.
When I started making beats, there was definitely this even applies to video too, but when I started making beats, there was definitely a group of people who were like, nah, like Mike's a video guy. He doesn't make beats. You know what I mean? And it's like, to me, it's just like, fuck you, bro. I'll do what I want. Like, if I wanna make beats, I'm gonna make beats. If I wanna do photos, dude. That's and that comes down like, and I'm happy that I'm able to have like that creative freedom. But it's like, if you put the time into something, you'll make it happen. You know, I was super passionate, and people don't know that when I started doing videos, I was pretty much doing beats like back then too, but we started releasing in 2016. So whenever I had like a render for a video, I was like, dude, that's like an hour where it's like enough time to get something done, but not enough time to leave the house. So I started producing, and that's like, so those hour renders, like I was cooking up beats, like trying to learn like how to make it work. Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like the biggest thing is just like, just do what you want, you know? Like, if you're passionate about it, that's more important than anything, because you'll make it happen. Like, if you genuinely care and you love what you're doing, it'll happen.
What do you enjoy most, or what do you enjoy more about the music production over, like, creating visuals? Is there any one thing?
Yeah, it's like a whole different experience. Like videos are cool, but I don't know. There's just, like, a lot of things with, like, I think seeing the spread of like like they're like different, like how music spreads and how a video spreads, I feel like is like very different. Like, so with the song that's like moving right now, like Come Home, that's like the single that's like our strong single that's like moving, dude, that hit the viral charts in Germany. Like, that's not like, I've never had that happen with a video, you know what I mean? So it's like seeing something like that like happen. And also like a video, there's a lot of pre-planning that goes to like a video. Like, there's a whole process in which a video is being made. I just created that other song like literally in my bedroom. You know what I mean?
Just
like,
you. That's it.
Yeah, just me. And like P.MO just came over and he started like humming some flows, and that's literally how that song got made.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just like, I don't know. They both have their different like rewarding like feelings, I guess.
I feel like it sounds like the music is just much more freedom, because there's you're not trying to please an artist or somebody that's hiring you for a commercial or anything. I guess it's your own product from start to finish. There's no question about it. It's literally, do I like this? Do I want to change this? Do I not? And then I put it out there.
That's pretty much it. Yeah. P.MO and I are pretty like on point. Like, we're like pretty like, if we're not like feeling something, we'll tell each other super quick. So I think that helps us create the best possible music that we can. So it's like, man, I don't know how I feel about this part of the beat, man. I don't know how I feel about this hook. Like, can you move this around? Like, you know, I mean, we're pretty straightforward with each other, and it really pushes us to like create like what we consider like the best music that we possibly can.
It's good. It's good to be a straight shooter.
Yeah.
In those moments of self-doubt, how do you dig yourself up out of the hole?
Self-doubt. I haven't had that recently, but I guess when I did have like, I'm just trying to think, like, to be okay.
And it doesn't. I guess you could also look at it for maybe this angle will make it a little bit more clear. When you're not motivated.
Yeah. Okay.
How do you dig yourself up?
I think, well, like I really do feel like I'm really motivated like a lot of the time, as like crazy as like I definitely have my moment. Like, I'm just like I'm trying to think back. Like, I definitely feel like I had like a period where I just wasn't motivated in like 2016. That was probably like the last time where I was like in like a major funk, and I just was like, man, like, I don't know. But I think the key to getting out the funk is just to keep going. Like, you know, because you don't know what's right around the corner. And I think that's why I haven't been in a funk lately, because every time I was like in a funk previous to that, I was like, I don't know what the next move is. But after that, something crazy happened. You know what I mean? It's like I just think life just keeps moving. And it's like, if you keep like, if you do nothing.
I was waiting for it.
Nothing happens.
I was waiting for it.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, if you do nothing, nothing happens. But if you're in a funk and you just keep moving, and like, it's not easy. Like, if you're in a mindset of like not doing, like, even if you're not creating your most A1 work, if you just make the effort to like shoot a video, like, even if it's just like for yourself, like self or just like messing around or create a beat or something, like you'll push yourself out of it. You know what I mean? Because eventually, like, you'll like, if you just keep doing it, like, you'll be like, okay, this is cool. We can run with this. And then all of a sudden, you just made your biggest song of your career. You know what I mean? So it's like, you just gotta keep going, dude.
Yeah, I think keep showing up is what gets you through those.
Yeah,
those tough times.
Consistency is so key, man. Like, just being consistent. Like, you just, with self-doubt and like unmotivation, like, dude, like I said, like, the only thing that's gonna stop you is you. And I feel like that's a situation that stops a lot of people. But it's like, imagine if they just pushed a little bit more and just kept going.
Yeah.
Right around the corner could have been a U.S. tour for them. Right around the corner could have been their biggest hit. Right around the corner could have been so many different things. And it's just, push through. You know, you got it. You got to believe in yourself, like, always, because you got to believe in yourself before the world does, without a doubt, man. Because if you don't believe in you, it's going to be hard convincing other people to. So, yeah, just keep moving forward, and you got this.
What do you think builds confidence in people?
Results. I think so too. Like, I think results, like, whether, and not setting the bar too crazy high. You know what I mean? Like, if you're putting out a song and you're expecting like Justin Bieber tour arenas the next month, it's rough for you. It's slow. It's
not gonna happen.
It can happen. I don't want to say it's not gonna happen, but the odds are stacked against you on that one. But running back to high school, dude, all I need was the approval of my high school on that like first project, right? 600 people, not a lot of people. So it's like, that's like a small, like, just small wins. All the small wins add up, and then eventually you'll hit like some big wins. You know what I mean? And then eventually, and the people that are rooting from you from the beginning, like, they don't leave. Like, they're still there rooting for you, regardless of if they're in touch or not, like, or like constantly viewing it. Like, they want to see you win. So it's like, just add all the little wins up and then get some big wins, you know? So I think that's like important.
Yeah. I had done quite a bit of scrolling on your Instagram, and one thing that stood out to me was that you do take the times to reflect, whether it was the one in New York, whether it was
hella emotional,
or it was on your birthdays.
Yeah.
I've definitely appreciated seeing that somebody like yourself takes those times to reflect. How important is it for you to kind of take that step back, slow down, and reflect on everything that's happening in your life?
Dude, it is so important, man, because, like, I've had some dark times, like, earlier on, so it's like, to come up from a situation that I'll keep it a buck with you. So, in 2011, my house burned down. I lost everything, like, literally, not my family, thank God, but materialistically, like, and this is why, like, material items, like, don't, like, really hold as much, like, that. Like, don't get me wrong, I treat my camera equipment very well, but
it's your business, though.
Yeah, but
there's a purpose to the material item.
That, like, I'm not like flashy car. I don't own a car. Like, flashy cars don't impress me. Nothing really like materialistic impresses me. So it's like, that's like, but going back to like, so my house burned down. I lost like everything.
What was the root of it? What caused it?
So they classified it as undetermined, but it was an electrical fire. They were guessing. So, dude, that was the craziest time. Like, bro. So
You're in high school at that time?
I was in high school, and this, like, dude, my
Were
high
you
school.
at school? When did this happen?
Oh man, I got this. This is a super emotional story for me, but I don't mind talking about it because I hope that this goes back to my goal to aspire to inspire. I was in high school and I got called down to the office. I was like doing like a community thing. Like, we were making like a banner for like a food drive. That's like what I was doing at the time. And I got called down to the office. And me being like the rebellious kid as I'm making my banner, I'm like, I'll go down in like 10 minutes. And then they called again. They were like, Mike Squires to the office now. I got into my school's office. Dead silent. I was like, is everything okay? They just looked at me. And I, like, dude, at that moment, I was like, damn, someone in my family died. Like, crazy, bro. Like,
yeah.
So then they said, your mom's on your way to come get you. I'm like, okay, all right, like I'm like getting ready to like, like I knew the bad news was coming. Like you just felt it. So I get in the car. I see my aunt's car pull down, not even my mom's car. So I see my aunt's car pull down, and I get into the car with my mom, and the first thing she said is, everything's gonna be okay. But like you could tell, like you could hear it in her voice that everything was not okay. So I get into the car with her, right? And she's like, everything's replaceable. The first thing, I know it's going to sound crazy, but the first thing I thought was my dad lost his arm. I don't know why. That's what came to mind. Silly, but hey, I was like 16, 17 at the time. And then I was like, what's going on? What's going on? And then my mom's like, our house burned down and we lost everything. Wow. Yeah. So my reaction, I got out the car. I walked back and not calm. Definitely was not calm. Walked back into my school. I like remember.
So she came out, or
I kind of just hopped out the car. Like she didn't want me to leave the car. Like I hopped out the car because the first, like I wanted to just go talk to my friends. Like, cause I didn't have anywhere to go. You know what I mean? Like, so I just like went out. I ran back into the school, and I remember flagging one of my friends like out of class, and I was just like, they were just like giving me a thumbs up. And I just was like shaking my head no. I just like, so they came out. I told them what happened. And they're like, oh, Mike, they were like hella upset with me. They're like, I'm sure it's not everything. I'm sure like it's like only part of it. It was everything. So that's like, so now look where I am now, right? So it's like, that's why it's so important to reflect for me. Cause it's like, I literally like after that experience, I landscaped for an entire summer. I had poison ivy, like, and mind you, I was doing like video stuff prior to this, right? So I've always had like the passion for it. I landscaped that entire summer. I mean, I'm not like really a physical dude, right? So poison ivy all over my arms. I remember it was just like, I was lugging like trees and like just putting them in the chipper, like doing what I had to do to like make it happen. I bought from that whole entire summer, I got a used MacBook Pro and a cheap ass camera. Then I started hustling. Let me do a commercial for your florist. $30. Literally $30. I'm in high school, right? So did that little shoot. Then eventually I was doing like comedy skits with one of my friends, right? And the comedy skits, then this is where P.MO comes in like pretty much around like this time. So it was like, yo, like Mike's doing comedy skits and does videos. You're making music. Why don't you guys do a music video? So that's how that relationship formed. Wow. Yeah. So then I started doing videos with P.MO, and then that video ended up on a blog, College of Music. Shout out College of Music.
Wow. Shout out to College of Music. Nora.
Yeah. I remember that. I think so. I've never met Nora, but I think we've talked like a few times. But I'm good friends with like Liam, who was like a writer.
I only knew Nora. That was the only one I really.
Yeah, but really shout out College of Music, because from that post, then another artist reached out. And mind you, I'm coming straight off like the worst experience, like one of the worst experiences of my life, right? And then I shot a music video for another, like, so then Daniel Lecter, an artist from Connecticut, reached out to me. I did a video with him, and then, dude, it just domino affected. And then around that time, I did the Big Sean show.
Wow.
But yeah, so it's like, so let me just loop this all the way back to the why it's important to reflect. Because at one point in my life, none of like when something like that happens, like your mindset is just, it's not like, dude, I didn't care about school. I cared about making sure my family was okay. Like every dollar I was like making was going back into trying to like get my life back together, you know? So it's like, that's like the crazy, like it's crazy. And yeah, but I don't know if I would be where I'm at right now if it didn't happen, because that really fueled the fire in me. Because then it became like either I let this situation become who I am, like I let this situation define me, and I'm forever the kid whose house burned down. And like, dude, and so many people were so helpful during that situation, man. But so it's like, dude, like one of my best friends today, like, did a shout out Jamie, like, She did a bake sale for me right after it happened. That's how I met Jamie. And now she was just with me at the New York show. So for Jamie to start at like she met me because my house burned down and she did bake sale for me. Now to the night where I have a photo in Times Square, like that's a crazy evolution.
Yeah.
Right? So, but just like there's so many people that helped. Like my school put together all this clothes. Oh my gosh, shout out Mr. Bryce. Man, I love So Mr. Bryce is a teacher that was at my school, and I went to school the next day after my house burned down. Somebody asked me about what happened, and it triggered me. I burst out tears because I just like, man, that's a lot to take on. And so Mr. Bryce was the teacher I had at the time. He was my engineering teacher. And he brought me into his like office. He's like, "What's going on, Mike?" So I told him everything that's what's happening. This man, this beautiful human being who I learned a super powerful lesson from this dude. But this man met me after school and got me an entire wardrobe, man. He just got me a huge laundry bag of clothes from Macy's, man. And you know what? There was a lot of things I learned from that there are really good people out there. You know, this man didn't know me. I was just a random student in his class. So there are good people. And then that pushes me to be the best person I could be and like show people unconditional love, even if that's not how they roll. So that's like one thing. And then for years, one thing that bothered me was, how do I pay this man back? And I had a mentor, Robbie, and I was talking to him about this, and he's like, "You don't pay it back, Mike. There's no way, because he's not in the situation. He doesn't need it. He's not in the situation that you were in. But he says what you can do is pay it forward." And that's what I do. And I will continue to give back whenever I can, whenever I see an opportunity where I can. And now looping, I know that my bad. This was
keep going. Keep going, bro.
So looping back to the reflecting, it's like, okay, so I started out with my house burning down. Not a strong start. Landscaped, right? Not a great experience, but it was a necessary step to make it happen. I grinded little video projects, even though I didn't know what I was doing. Not my best work, but it got me to the next level. Started using that work to show that, hey, I can do this. You know what I mean? Got me into like the next shows necessary. Started doing music videos, getting on blogs, and just every time that I'm working, it's like perfecting my craft. Then to getting to the point where I'm doing music videos with all these different artists, and you know, just things are just building. And people, like, every time I put out a video, it's basically an advertisement for me. It's like I put out a video with like Yonas. Like, if people fuck with the Yonas video, they're gonna be like, who did this?
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? And I think that's how, like, going back to the question where you're like, why do these people want to work with you? I guess like they were just seeing I was working with people in that community, you know, and just the whole process. And now I'm at a point where it's like, I have like music that I consider, like, obviously you want to get things more successful, but successful enough where I'm able to live off of it. Videos that I'm able to, I live my dream. I live my fucking dream. I can't ask for more. And it's like that all, like, at one point I was the kid whose house burned down. So that entire process, like, you don't forget the journey when, you know what I mean? There's a lot that went into here. This didn't happen overnight. Dude, my house burned down in 2011. It's 2019. Like, that's still, you know what I mean? That's crazy. Yeah. You know? So
it's important. This is why I love what I do in podcasting, because that it opens up the conversation of, not a lot of people probably know that. And there's nothing in the research that I did for this podcast that said Mike's house burned down when he was a kid. Yeah. And so it's important to hear how something like that impacts you for the rest of your life. And really, too, also, I would imagine, and you mentioned it immediately after you brought it up, is just understanding that things don't truly make people happy.
No, bro.
If they serve a purpose, these microphones, this neon sign, your camera, they serve a purpose to fulfilling the happiness of what brings us joy. Yeah. Yes. But it comes, there's a line to be drawn in the sand of, do I need this, or is this just to add to the pile of shit that I don't need.
Yeah, dude. And just going back, like, it's a huge impact on, like, who I am. Like, why do you think, like, I'm always like pushing forward, like, no matter where you are in life, like, you can make things happen, you know? And I've talked to, like, people, like, that have been going through dark times, too, and, like, really, like, try to push them through it. Like, I've had a few people come to me, like, yo, I'm super stoked that I listened to you, because now I'm doing this, even though, like, that's where I was at the time. Like, if I can become who I wanted to be from a dark time in my life, so can anybody else, you know? Like, and that's why I don't like that to discourage people, because people might be going through crazy things. Like, dude, you could just name them off. There's a million crazy, sad things that could happen, right? Yeah. Don't let that define you. Like, you create who you are. Don't let these situations create, like, don't dwell on it, you know? Like, and I'm not saying be, like, emotionless. Like, obviously you got to deal with what you got to deal with, like, internally. But it's like, you just got to use that to, like, fuel you, you know? Accept it, and it's who you are. It's become, like, who you are, and it's important to, I embrace it. You know, it's not easy for me to talk about my house and stuff like that, but I think it's important as part of my story, and it's shaped me into who I am. But it also gives an example where it's like, man, this is where I came from. If someone, like, I remember not too long ago, someone else messaged me telling me that their house burned down, and they didn't even know that mine. And so I spoke to them like, dude, I literally had the exact same thing happen.
Wow.
Like, so it's crazy. And that, just, like, thankful that everybody man, not a great time in Mike Squires' life, but, you know, here we are.
Yeah.
And the phoenix from the ashes, my friend.
The phoenix from the ashes. I love that.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of lessons that have been learned. There've clearly been a complete transformation of Mike as from that 2011 to 2019.
Yeah.
Thinking about everything we've talked about today.
Yeah.
How would you ultimately summarize what Mike Squires' purpose is?
Man, Mike Squires' purpose, I just really want to inspire, you know, like, I want to be able to create, like, I want to see other people, you know, maybe they're coming up, or, like, it doesn't matter what age or anything, like, age is, like, irrelevant in this situation, but if they have a passion, to know that it's possible, know that everything put aside, like, your dreams are possible, like, no matter what situation you're going through. Yeah. Aspire to inspire.
That's one line that keeps jumping to me that you had said earlier.
Yeah, dude, because it's like, I mean, obviously, like, I want to make the best, like, for personal goals, it's like, yeah, I want to create the best videos. I want to create the best music. I'm like, I want to keep doing new things. I'm, like, working on an album right now where I'm producing the entire thing and getting artists on it, right? So just, like, trying new things, and just, like, you know, I don't want to do the same thing forever, like, personally, but on a bigger scale, like, I really care about the impact that I make. Yeah. You know, like, when I'm no longer here, I want there to be, and hopefully there are people that were like, damn, like, Mike really inspired me to follow my dream, follow my passion, like, you know, because at one point I was that kid. You know what I mean? Yeah. I was literally that kid who was looking for inspiration and to see that it's possible, and I just want people to know it's possible.
Yeah. Before we get into the closing questions, this is when I reverse the role. I allow the guest to ask me any one question. It could be about something we talked about today or something you want to know about me. Yeah. 2 rules. 1, it can't be a question I already asked you today.
Okay.
2, it can't directly be about the podcast.
Okay.
Any one question.
I think the question I have been thinking about, and I wanted to ask you this prior to everything, but I held it out, is, what's your goal? Where do you see yourself in a few years? Like, what do you know what I mean? What drives you? Like, what keeps you going? But I think the biggest thing is, like, where do you see yourself, and what's next for you mentally?
Yeah. It's always a work in progress.
Yeah.
And it blows my mind as time goes that it's always just trying to figure out what is that next step. And I think what was incredible for that first year living in LA, from September 2017 to September of 2018, I moved it up to a new city, to LA, the place I'd always wanted to live. I moved out here with 2 friends. I had some buddies out here living. I was in one of the biggest creative hubs in the world.
Yeah.
And I finally was at a 1-year marker on the podcast. This was my first creative endeavor. And so for a full year, I was trying everything under the sun. I was trying different YouTube series, Instagram series.
Yeah.
I started a second podcast with my roommates, creating, just trying to figure out my lane, trying to figure out what am I supposed to do. I knew the podcast was one thing, but I knew that I could potentially do other things. And so, you know, now I've kind of, I understand the direction. I don't know exactly the vehicle that I'm going to be driving, but it's to create content at scale that I love, and that it inspires other people. And through that content, it's more about documenting. I'm big on documenting. That's what I want to do. I think that's ultimately my purpose, is to create content that is a documentation of other people. So podcast is a documentation of your life. I do another series that's really, really new. It's called What They Don't See. It's an inside look of where creatives create. I'm documenting where the creatives create. To me, it needs to be authentic content. It needs to be about people. Like, maybe one day I'd love to try acting, and I think it'd be cool to try to like portray myself as somebody else, like a character. But I get a high from really just documenting people and trying to find ways of creating content that gives value to those people. So like we were talking about before, you're somebody that puts out a lot of visual content and people see your end work and they expect that they're going to just see more Mike Squires videos or now music. But I want to help. I want to try to be that guy that finds those little pockets of creating content that gives value to you. That is now somebody that was able to listen in to Mike Squires today. Might have been a fan for 5 years, but now they finally know the true story of how he's gotten to where he is today. So I think moving forward, it's creating this content at scale. It's getting a production team, like a full-on team at some point. It's really just about, as you had seen the video for the This Is My Story, it's really just about creating content that I was looking for when I was graduating college. I did that shit, bro. 6 figures in debt. No clue what I wanted to do next. I'm just trying to create content that I was looking for, and that still is a driving factor. It fires me up because I'm getting the opportunity to sit down with people like yourself. Like I said in the beginning of this podcast, I've seen your name from afar for a long time. And so it's a privilege that I have created a platform that allows me to literally, it's the best networking opportunity of all time, because I'm bringing people into the bedroom studio. And I just get to vibe out with you for an hour, 2 hours. And it's the greatest start to a relationship.
And it inspires, I don't know if they could see this, but this is special, bro.
The wall.
This is like, this whole thing is special. And dude, I'm just super thankful that you gave me the opportunity to you gave me a voice today, man, which like I'm behind the scenes, man. Like, so I think what you got going is like really special. And, you know, I think things are just going to get bigger and better.
I appreciate that, man. I mean, it's every day I think one thing that I want to say that I hope really helps people, that I've gotten very good at, even in just the last 2 weeks, I've started to completely shift my mind, is being so fucking present. That I don't get as anxious as I used to get about the future, and I'm not dwelling on shit that's happened in the past. I'm solely just trying to appreciate life 24 hours at a time.
It's a winning mentality, man.
And just like counting the 1 to 3 wins a day. This is a huge win for me on the podcast today. I'll drive Uber later on today to help pay the bills. That's a win. That's a win because I'm funding my project. Anything that's
progressing, dude.
Exactly.
Slow progress is better than no progress. I always say that.
If you do nothing,
nothing happens.
Exactly. So I'm in a great spot physically. I'm doing my best. I'm trying to fuel myself. I'm just trying to operate at my highest potential. That's what I'm obsessed with. What helps me sleep at night, and I shit you not, Mike, if there's 365 days a year, 360 of them, I fall asleep within less than 60 seconds.
Damn.
And it's because I literally wake up, I give the day my absolute best. I put it all on the line. I literally, I make every second count. And I got that's a quote from a past guest. Shout out to Mitchell Mullins. I literally make every second count of my day.
Yeah.
And so I go to sleep at night like a light, like a light switch.
I've been watching your Instagram story. That inspires me like crazy.
Fire.
Because, dude, I see you getting up super early, man.
Every day.
It's on tour. It's hard to do that, but that's like a routine that I'd love to get into, man.
Yeah.
And you really got it's one thing hearing someone say they're making the most of their day, but I literally see you making the most of your day, man.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, you're going to be so good. I've not a single doubt, bro.
Thank you.
And this is super special. It's just all really good, man.
Thank you. And I do that, and I post all that Instagram shit because I want to document my day to day. I want people to see the real and the rawness.
And you have no
the
idea.
Work in progress.
You have no idea who's like someone new could hop on.
Yep.
And now you just inspired them to wake up earlier and get into like a routine.
Yeah.
You know, so that's another crazy thing. Just not knowing, dude, if you just do it, you have no idea how it's impacting people.
Yeah, I know.
You know?
And that to me is the thing. It's like I'm just documenting it, and I hope that it helps people in some way. If you want, if my whole message, if you want something to happen, go do it.
Yes.
Because anything in this world is possible, and that's why I brought in all these different types of guests: artists, DJs, producers, entrepreneurs, vloggers, makeup artists, film directors, photographers, podcasters, YouTubers, bloggers. They're doing so many different things, but they're finding a way to make it happen. So it's like, leave the excuses at your doorstep, accept responsibility for the cards that you've been dealt in your life, and play the hand to the best of your ability. Yeah. There is always a way. There is always a way, and there's enough room for everybody to win.
No. You said it really well, my friend. Said it really well.
I love talking. Closing questions for you.
What's up?
That was a great question, though, for to give you respect on that.
Thank you,
Closing
man.
questions. Where can people find you on social media?
So people can find me at Mike Squires on Instagram, at I am Mike Squires on Twitter, because a magician has at Mike Squires, and I've reached out to him, and he said for his next trick, he's going to make the chances of me getting that at disappear. He didn't actually say that, but that's how the message came across.
Yeah.
And then I guess that's probably the biggest two. And then I would Spotify. I'm going to start releasing a lot of music where I produce it and get artists on it. And so Spotify, Mike Squires.
Like a DJ Khaled type thing, right?
Like a DJ Khaled type thing. I guess that would be a good way to put it.
This is the next one right here.
Yeah. So I think that's going to be like pretty big. So yeah, I guess Spotify. And
Spotify.
Then, just support when you can, like wherever,
Yeah.
I guess Instagram I'm pretty active on.
I'll have all your socials linked up. People they'll easily be able to find you. But make sure you guys and gals head to his socials, drop a bunch of Bearded Man emojis on his socials, and he'll know exactly that you're coming from the Purpose in You podcast with the Bearded Man.
Hell yeah, dude.
Before I ask the final question, I want to thank you for coming in today.
No, dude.
Taking the time out of your day, doing this.
Let me flip this. Let me thank you for... Dude, this is like so cool to me. Like, if even just taking a moment to reflect right now, the fact that I've gotten to a point in my life where you think it's cool enough to have me on your show is awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Like, that means a lot to me, where it's like if this was part of the dream, man, having people interested enough to hear me talk about what I'm doing.
Yeah. Well, I'll flip it back on you again, because I mean, it all started with you showing love and taking the time to even write something on my Instagram, saying, just giving me a shout out, like, yo, I respect the I don't remember what exactly it was, but you still took the initiative to say, like, I've been watching the content and I rock with it. And
dude, give credit where it's due, man.
Huge.
I show like that, and I think it goes back, like, I wish more people would just show love. You know what I mean? Because I feel like some people are just like low key, just looking from a distance. Yeah. Like, why? By you showing love, you could be creating something so beautiful that you have no idea even exists yet.
Yeah, and it does a lot more for that one person than it does for you to just say it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's a big like I'm going like this. I'm just like flicking a domino. Yeah, and that will literally send it for that person for the next.
I know
day,
every
2
time
days.
somebody tells me that like something's inspired them, or like they're like excited about something I'm working on, that, I mean, that gives me purpose. It makes me feel good. So it's like, that's the kind of love I want to show to people. Like, regardless, like if I find myself binge watching all your podcasts, you bet I'm gonna comment on something and let you know. Like, because give credit where it's due.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
the love is mutual, my friend.
Let's go,
so
dude.
thank you for taking the time. Last question for you.
Yes, man.
For somebody that's listening, hasn't found the passion, hasn't found out their purpose just yet, what's the best 2 to 3 pieces of advice you'd give to them?
Man, and woman. I don't want to, not discriminating.
That's why I always say guys and gals. I always say that, guys and
no,
gals.
that's a good one. But you just gotta try things out, you know. Like, I guess I'm kind of so I'm dealing with this. Like, my girlfriend is kind of like in this like lane right now where she's trying to figure out exactly like what she wants to do, and she's super talented at like a bunch of things. But I think it just comes down to trial and error, you know. Like, you just got to try a bunch of stuff out. Like, if you're trying to do photography, like, you know, just test the water, see what you can come up with, you know, like. And I think the biggest thing is not to feel like you have to commit to like one thing, because I don't like my end goal. I don't know if I want to be the video guy forever. I don't know if I want to be the producer forever. I don't know. Like, I've done like other little, like, I've had the privilege to like speak at events. Like, I was a motivational speaker for, like, that was a huge thing for me, and I had so much fun doing it. Like, I don't know, just go with the flow. Like, just find what works like right now and just keep going with it, because things change. Like, things are like you said, you talking about acting, like, for all, man, you could be the next James Bond. Like,
that would be badass.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
Like, so just go with the flow, find what works right now, and just know that you're not committed to that. As long as you mentally, like, you have to put your best into it. And that goes back to my biggest fear, like, working a job that I'm just not passionate about for somebody else. Like, when people are like, oh, it's just a job, I'm like, dude, that's that's your life. What do you mean it's just a job? Like, when people are like, I don't know, man, just, I think that's where it just comes from. It's just like, that frustrates me where people like lock in. I also don't like when people say, I don't like Mondays. Dude, that's 1/7 of your life, bro. Yeah. That's 1/7 of your life that you're just preaching that you don't like for your entire life. So going back to the main question, it's just like, just test the waters, you know, and don't feel like you need to commit to one certain thing. Though, dude, there's so many, the world has infinite possibilities. I could quit today and decide that I want to go become a rock climber. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I would have to put in the work and time to get there, but if that's what I want to do it, you know?
Mike Squires.
Woo!
Thanks for coming in today, brother.
Thank you. No, I appreciate you having me, man. Like I said, I'll keep saying it, but it means more than you know. Like, this is really exciting for me. Yeah. I can't wait to send this link to my dad.
Let's go. The link's coming in hot to the pops.
Yeah. He texted me, so.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, the love is mutual, my man.
Yes,
keep hustling.
Man. Yes.
We'll catch you guys next time.
Woo!
See ya!